It's your boy Super Barber. How to make money ASAP. How to raise your prices. Stay tuned.
Let's go!
What's up? It's your boy Super Barber Sampson with another video. Hey, check this out. I've been having a lot of people ask me, barbers, how to raise your prices. How to raise your prices. What's up, my man Brian Blends? But so years ago, and I'm talking about many, many years ago. Okay, let's talk about it. In 1987, Brooklyn, New York, 174 Troop Avenue, when I opened up my first barbershop. Haircuts in 1987, by the way, I was 17 years old, 16, 17 years old. When I opened up my first shop, I promise you, haircuts was $10 to $15. I'm going to say it again. $10 to $15. Okay. As years went on, you know, the prices, the prices, I would say inflation for the inflation for barbers suck. And when I say it suck, it suck. Even now, like now in the last 10 years, for me I was a little bit different, but in the last 5 years, the barber culture has changed. Everybody wants to be a barber. Why? Because secrets have been revealed, and we have realized that barbers have been making money all along. And for the social, or I would say society, our culture has always thought that barbers was much needed, but they was okay making anywhere from 17 to 23,000. Just a few years ago, the average on Google, if you would say how much barbers make. Matter of fact, let's just go there right quick. I'm just going to check this out and just throw up a little clip. Check this out. Boom. There you go. I just got this from off of Google, and just something like this is like crazy, because I've been out of this range like since the 90s. What makes the barber, not just the barber. So if you look here, this always have bothered me, because so many barbers are average barbers and they settle for less. So, which tells me a lot about not just barbers, but a lot about people who they just never want to go to the next level. If they're saying, I mean, like 6 years ago, it was 23,000. Now it's like, you know, as you see, the barber culture has grown. So they saying this is an okay amount to make about 35,000, the average barber. But it falls in a range between 30 and 40,000, which means you make $14 to $18 per hour, $110 to $150, $110 to $150 per day. Yeah, so if you really think about it, you know, from time that had passed to now, like, it's so much of it's not really a big change when you're talking about 30 years. As I was saying before, like, you know, haircuts back in the 80s, late 80s, you know, and I know some older cats, well, I remember it was this price. Well, I'm just telling you, within the last 30 years, haircuts they barely doubled. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they did a little bit over than double. You know what I'm saying? Like, coming back for me, like $12-15, and like they double. Like now everybody wants a haircut for $30. And when you have a choice to show your value, is totally different than just being an average. I guess that's what separates the barbers, the regular barbers, from the average barbers, from the barbers that find value in themselves. It's so important to know that if you find value in yourself, what will eventually happen is you will start to find customers that finds value in you. And everything you do with that client, I promise you, it would change the whole trajectory in your quest of becoming a financially stable barber. I'm not talking about being a celebrity barber. I'm talking about a financial stable barber. So there's a difference between a celebrity barber and a financial stable barber. I know some celebrity barbers and I know financially stable barbers. Financially stable barbers, they usually own several shops. They pay people pay a little higher price for their haircuts. They don't care if they cut celebrities or not, and they don't even care if it's in this, if they're in the celebrity market. Not in the celebrity market, pardon me, but they don't even care if the celebrities is trying to drag them into their market. It's like, hey, it is what it is. If you want to pay for my time, I'm gonna charge you, and that's it. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm in that place where I feel like I don't have to chase celebrities. I would love to cut celebrities. It's always fun to cut celebrities. I've cut tons of celebrities in the past. But how I make my money is showing and proving my worth to my clients. Showing and proving my worth to my clients. So, here's what I do. For an example, this client that I have here in the chair. How do I show my worth to him? The first time he got in my chair, which was over 2 years ago, I said, hey, listen. I said, I'm a new barber out here in Texas. I don't know too many people, but I have 30 years of experience. At that time, it was almost 30 years of experience. I promise you, I'll give you the haircut, not that you just want, but the haircut that you asked for. With me, all of my haircuts get better in time. Because this is the first time I'm cutting your hair, I'm going to look at all the imperfections that your scalp may have. You may have scars. He said, yeah, I have a lot of scars. I said, you may have bumps. He said, yeah, I have a lot of bumps. And I said, well, you may have areas also that your hair is thicker than others. Perfectly like around the scalp area, around the temple area. Sometimes the fade doesn't look the same as it does maybe from one side to the other. I've cut people where they have one grain of hair on one side and a different grain of hair on the opposite side. So what I present to my client is allow me to grow with him. Allow me to cut his son, his family, his brothers, his grandfathers. Like, let them know that you found the best barber. And I can't tell him I'm just the best barber. I have to prove to him that I'm the best barber. Like, literally, I have to show him and show him through my ways, my actions, my consistency, my professional level, showing him that I do care about how he looks. That's important for me. So with my value, what comes with my value? What makes you different than any other barber? What makes you a valuable barber? I'm not talking about a celebrity barber, because all you have to do as a celebrity barber is cut one star hair and you consider a celebrity barber if you cut them on a consistent basis. But that doesn't mean anything. In fact, a lot of celebrities, they're kind of hip to the barber world, and a lot of celebrities, what they'll do is they'll try to get you to cut their hair for free, because you're taking pictures and videos of them. That's why I would sign it. Most real celebrities, they'll make you sign an NDA, make sure you don't share any personal information, a non-disclosure agreement, make sure you don't share any personal information with them. And I'm not talking about rappers, I'm just talking about like stars, like movie stars and all these people who have not just a a 1 million Instagram presence. I'm talking about people that got like 10 million, 5 million Instagram followers. So what do you do in that case? Like how do you show your value? How do you do that, like, and be successful at it? As time go on, what will happen is simply trust will kick in. Just like a friendship, you usually, that person is in the shop with you for maybe 20 or 30 minutes with most barbers, but because you're above average, you're going to ask them, how much time you got today? Are you in a rush? That's what I ask every single one of my clients before I start chopping my mouth off, before I start talking too much, before we get into deep conversation. But because sometimes when you're in a conversation, you slow down, you're cutting, and most times I say, nah, I'm here to just I need my barber time. You know what I'm saying? Most times, most of my clients will say that, and then I know I have a little bit of a window, and so that's what I would do. Just a point to remember that most average barbers, they're trying to cut more heads to make more money. Above average barbers are not concerned about how many heads they have. They are concerned about just having people come and get a haircut with them. Getting a haircut, not only just getting a haircut, but sitting in their chair, relaxing, not having an issue with pain. So you have to decide what and who you want to be, or what type of barber you want to be. If you want to be an average barber, you know what I'm saying, then you probably want to unsubscribe to my channel. And because when I'm talking to barbers, I'm talking to barbers who want to be above average. I'm not talking to barbers who just want to cut 50 heads a day and burn themselves out. I promise you, within a year, 2 years, I've done it. I burnt myself out. I had to take a break because I was cutting. I didn't have a regular life. I didn't have a social life. Losing my I almost lost my family because I was working so hard. Became a workaholic because I was trying to get the heads in and out. I was trying to get all the customers in and out. And so what essentially happened was I learned my value. And it was something that one of my good friends said to me. He told me, he said, if you don't know your value, if you don't know your worth, how can you sell yourself to someone if you don't know your worth? Okay, so that's why some things will never go to a pawn shop or never be sold on the market. That's personal to somebody, because the value status is more than just what it's actually appraised for. So like if you have a house that sits on the top of a hill, has been in your house for ages, and the realty market rate for it in that area may be, they may come and praise your house for $200,000 or $500,000, right? But for you, it's worth $10 million because it was a house that your grandfather bought and he passed it down to you. So it's worth more than that because memories and all the emotional attachment. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is that when you become attached to a client, that client has no problem paying you the money that you ask for, because he knows that you're valuable and he knows that the time that he spends with you is worth his while. So when I started this guy's haircut, it was $30 for his haircut. When I first did his hair 2 years ago, right? Within 2 years, I went up to like maybe about $100, something like that. I'm right around $100, and I give him a break. You know what I'm saying? And so, how do I present it to him? How do you guys present it to your clients? Stepping up your game. How do you tell your clients I'm raising my prices? Most barbers are afraid to tell or talk to their clients about raising prices, and the reason being is because they are afraid that clients will say, well, you're too expensive, I could find another barber up the block, or I could go to another barbershop around the corner, right? And that is so true, but you have to make room for this is something I always see a lot of barbers that catch it. Like, I read the book by Rich the Barber. Awesome book, awesome read. By no means did he endorse this video, but I did read the book. I mean, anything that's new in the culture, anything that's in the culture that is worth or valuable to me, I'm going to find out about it. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to read about it. I want to understand it. I want to make sure that I'm not missing any part of it. And so you have to be up to date on your culture. Your culture is the barbering culture and the hair culture. This is where it comes where you are well groomed when it comes to your craft. So your client knows for a fact that you are not just a regular barber, or he would never say to you, I could just go around the corner and get a haircut for $30 or $25. He would never say that to you because he knows your value. And because he knows your value, you're going to present it to him way, way in advance beforehand. Right? And so trust me, you're still going to lose clients, but I promise you it's going to give you more space to do more than what you ever thought you ever could do. I promise you that. So an example is I used to do 10 haircuts, right? 10 to 15 haircuts on an okay day, right? So you do the math. On an okay day, 10 haircuts, 10 to 15 haircuts is about, say for example, I'm just using an example, so I don't have no chart in front of me, but if you do 10 haircuts, that should be on $30, that should be $300, right? But the reality is most average barbers don't even do 10 haircuts every single day, Monday through Saturday or Sunday, or Sunday to Sunday, whatever, right? Most, I would say, I would almost say all, but there are some areas it's just busy shops and they be cranking all day. So I don't want to leave out that little, I'll just leave out that little piece right there. But most average barbers are cutting 10 heads, maybe 10 to 15 heads on a busy day. You know what I'm saying? Busy shop, maybe 16 heads, 17 heads, maybe, right? If you're a fast cutter, fast barber, a lot of the barbershops like on base, they cut like 20 heads a day, but they only getting paid like $10 on an army base or on a military base, right? So now you're making $300, right? And you worked from 9 o'clock to maybe like 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, right? You do the math. Okay, so if you're doing 10 heads, that's like an hour each head, right? So that's really like 9 to 5. But most times these people are not on point, on time. Some heads you take a little bit longer. And I'm just giving a grace period. So most people say, well, I do a haircut in 30 minutes. Okay, so for you who do 30 haircuts, you may be above average. That's fine. 30, 45 minutes, great. Awesome, you're an awesome barber. But what I'm saying to you still, even if you do more heads, even if you do 20 heads in that day, 30 minutes, right? Okay, you're going to make $600 in that day. If you're doing 30 heads, $30 in that one day, right? 10 in 10 hours. Or I mean, if you're doing 20 heads in one day within 8 hours or whatever, within 10 hours or whatever, right? So if you do that, guess what? It doesn't even matter because I can do 3 to 5 heads and make $1,000 in a day. Boom. That's it. I wish I could talk more about this, but I will in upcoming videos. Link is in the bio. Subscribe. Check out this cut, bro. And look at this guy's face. If you see right here, I made like 90 something dollars. This was his statement right here for my square. I just took a quick shot. But look, I mean, this is a $35 haircut, but not with me. My value haircut, this is much more than that. Okay, this is like a $80 haircut, and he tipped me whatever, like a $75 haircut, my bag, and he tipped me. Then I charge tax so I don't have to pay taxes. All right, at the end of the year, so I make sure I tax all my clients. All right.
Let's go.